Welcome to this week's edition of the Seekonk Speedway Race Day Rewind, produced by Souza Media, where we recap all the weekend's racing as part of the 75th anniversary season of the Action Track of the East. The Seekonk Speedway podcast series is a production of Seekonk Speedway and Souza Media. For more information on Souza Media, visit kylesouza.com. And for more information on Seekonk Speedway, visit seekonkspeedway.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Seekonk Speedway podcast series. For the first time in 2021, we're going to talk Fast Friday racing as we get set to kick off the season on Friday night, May 28th, the scheduled opener for the Fast Friday series. All 5 divisions in action every Friday night with a mix of youth, veterans, and rising stars across 5 different Fast Friday divisions. My name is Kyle Souza, the owner of Souza Media. Thanks for joining us as part of the Fast Friday Preview podcast. During the podcast, we are going to speak with 5 different guests as part of the podcast series here, recapping what happened last Friday night as part of the Fast Friday practice session, the final one of the year, and we're also going to preview what's coming up over the course of the season with some of the drivers that compete on Fast Friday. In the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandoleros, you have both the Bandits and the Outlaws. We've got the Everett's Auto Parts sponsorship on board, back for the Fast Friday series as well this year, along with Phil's Propane. Helger South Coast Power Equipment will sponsor the Pure Stock division again. Seekonk Grand Prix is on for the Bandolero class, and in the Legends cars, Nick's Pit Stop Legends is back for 2021 as the sponsor of the premiere of the Fast Friday divisions. Now, it is the last race of the night, the Nick's Pit Stop Legends. However, a little bit different than a Saturday night. It might not be the oldest division. There are guys that run in the Pure Stock division that might be a little bit older than some of the guys that run in the Legend cars, and vice versa. Of course, in the Bandoleros, all of those drivers are young, ages 16 and under, and that's what makes youth racing so exciting to watch here as we move into 2021 at the Speedway. Let's start off by discussing the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero divisions, both the Bandits and the Outlaws. Now, you might wonder, what is the difference between these two divisions if they're both Bandoleros? The simple difference is a little bit of speed versus the Bandits and the Outlaws, and the age limits that are allowed in each of the divisions. The Bandits are a little bit slower, and they are drivers aged from 8 to 11, and the Outlaws are a little bit faster, ages 12 to 16. So that's really the only difference there. Let's start off in the Bandolero Bandits. This division might run through the Vanasse family. Now, both Ryan Vanasse Jr. and Colin Vanasse are related to Ryan Vanasse, the 2-time late model champion and Pro Stock winner who competes on NASCAR Saturday at Seekonk. Both of them are going to be threats during this 2021 season. If you look at what they've been able to do previously, to me, these are the 2 favorite drivers, other than one more, to contend for the championship. Ryan Vanasse Jr. scored his first win in 2020 in that shortened season with COVID. Colin Vanasse has picked up a lot of speed under the hood of that number 78, but he's still looking for his first career win. I think that's going to come this year, and I also think the championship is going to be on the doorstep for both of those drivers if they can just get a little bit of luck. That's going to be something we're going to have to monitor as the season goes along. So those 2 drivers, to me, some of the favorites. Darren Krantz Jr., the New York native, also has to be one of the favorites for the 2021 season in the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Bandits. Now, Krantz last year in his green number 31 dominated the division. Just about every time he showed up, it felt like he was in Everett's Auto Parts victory lane. Not sure if he's going to run the full schedule or not, but if he does run the full schedule, he, to me, is also going to be a championship favorite based on what we saw from him in 2020. Of course, that short season due to COVID, but he went to victory lane multiple times and was the class of the field on multiple occasions. He's had quite the racing experience over the course of his career, jumping up and down the roads, down south, up here in New England. It's been quite the experience for him. So we're going to be monitoring how he does over the course of the 2021 season in the Bandolero Bandits. Also in this division, you've got names like Mike Hannafin, the son of former sportsman champion John Hannafin. Miliana Shawoski picked up a ton of speed last year getting used to the 3rd mile. She's going to be a threat this year. Similar to the Vanasses, we've got the Urings, Michaela Uring and Nick Uring Jr., also set for competition, looking for them to kind of hit the ground running, gain some speed right away, and hopefully end up with victories. before their season comes to a close. Mikey Lafort III is the son of the Sport 4 champion Mike Lafort. We're expecting him to be a challenger in this division. Also, some other names, Luca Dibb making debut as the relative of the sport truck driver Elias Dibb, Sam Macedo, Rodney Dowlis, Zacharias Kelly, Jamison Ramirez. These are some young guns that are coming into the division for the first time in 2021, so we'll be monitoring them as well. Again, the Bandoleros, specifically the Bandolero Bandits, all presented by Seekonk Grand Prix, and these drivers specifically are younger, so they don't have a lot of experience. They probably are going to make a few mistakes over the course of the year. That's average for this division. We do see that. However, we're also going to be watching to see who ends up in Everett's Auto Parts victory lane, because there will be a champion crown over the course of 2021 in this division. So that's something we will have to monitor as well as the season goes. All right, let's move on to the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Outlaws before we take our first break of the podcast here, previewing our Fast Friday season. The Bandolero Outlaws, again, a little bit older, a little bit faster group, and Richie Helger Jr. moving up from the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Bandits into the Outlaws this year, to me, is one of the drivers we're going to have to watch, but he is not alone in that category as drivers that are going to be major threats to come down with the championship this year. You look at the whole Outlaw division, two guys I'm watching, Nick Chaber Jr. came so close to the championship in 2020, just a mere few points away from being able to be crowned champion in the Bandolero Outlaws. Ethan Dion competed in the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandits just like Helger, and Dion and Helger battled for the championship in the Bandits. Dion came out on top in the shortened series, but they both have the experience now of going down the stretch in a tight battle, and both of them are moving up. So Dion and Helger going to be setting chase towards Nick Chaber, who's got some more experience in this Bandolero Outlaw division. Last year, Isaiah Newcomb won the championship. He's moved on to the late model ranks at a different track, so he is not going to be running in the Bandoleros. He's also going to be running in the Legend cars at Seekonk, so we're not going to lose Isaiah. He's just moving up to a little bit of a higher division. Some other potential challengers to watch in this Bandolero Outlaw class: Joey LeMay, the Everett's Auto Parts number 8. Steve Bowden, the 64. He's been improving, looking for his first career win, expecting that to come this year. Brent Robideau moving up from the Bandolero Bandits as well. Picked up a ton of speed in the second half of last year and really looked comfortable behind the wheel of that number 25. We'll see what he's able to do as the season goes along. And also Adam Harrison is going to be a threat. When you look at the Outlaw division, Harrison is going to be another driver that's got some experience behind the wheel that could be a threat here as the season gets going. In the Bandolero Outlaws, we'll also watch for Olivia Dardadinsky, Michael Perry, Aubrey Keller, Jaden Dibb, Chase Sylvia, Cheyenne Cooper, Joel Newcomb. Of course, the Newcomb family. I mentioned Isaiah. Joel Newcomb going to be in the Bandolero Outlaws this year. We will keep watch of him. And, of course, Bradley Strickland, who was quick in preseason testing as a newcomer to Seekonk Speedway. We'll be watching that as well. Bandolero divisions, all of them together, compete in 15-lap races, and of course our schedule starts on May 28 and runs through September. This division also going to include the Phil's Propane Triple Crown Series, just like all our other divisions. That is a 3-race series with a separate championship and a little bit of prestige behind it as part of the 75th anniversary season at the track. You know that Phil's Propane Triple Crown Series very well. Seekonk Grand Prix is the division sponsor of the Bandolero division. They're family owned and operated, located right down the street in Seekonk, Mass. You can visit them for go-karts, either on their family track or slick track. Play the latest and greatest in arcade games. You can ride on bumper boats, water boats, bumper cars, and more. You can visit them online at SeekonkGrandPrix.com or stop over and see them, again, just down the street from the track. We're going to take our first break on the Fast Friday Preview podcast. When we come back, we're going to hear from two Bandolero drivers. In the Bandolero Bandits, Colin Vanasse will join us, and in the Bandolero Outlaws, last year's multiple-time front-runner in the Bandolero Bandits, he came up just short of the championship, moving to the Outlaws. Richie Helger Jr. in the South Coast Power Equipment, number 99, will join us next. Stay tuned. All right, we're back here at the Fast Friday preview for the podcast, and we're here in the pits again on Fast Friday practice. One more interview here. I've been able to catch up with Colin Vanasse. His dad's unloading his number 78, and we wrote up in the preview this year that we think you're going to be one of the guys that's going to run in the front. But what do you think? You feel like you got a good shot at winning this year, grabbing your first win and trying to contend for the championship?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I think we have a good car this year and be able to get at least a win.
So at least a win. That's got to be the goal, right? I mean, you ran the Bandoleros last year. Do you feel like you weren't enough last year to kind of get off and be really fast right away this year?
Yeah, I think I was good enough to be able to get it in first three races, something like that.
Wow, so he thinks he's going to win in the first 3 races. That's good. That's a lot of confidence. What about the championship? Are you concerned at all about that? Is that on your mind, too, to try to win that?
Yeah, I'd like to win that. I don't know. I'm pretty confident. I think we have a good car. We can run up front most of the season.
Well, he's going to try to run up front. He's going to do some practice here tonight to get ready for next week. And, of course, Past Friday starting on May 28th. Is anybody you want to thank? Maybe sponsors, parents, anybody?
My dad, Titan Veterinarian, Lamar and Sons, A&A Auto Parts, Enterprise Rescue, and International CDL.
All right, Colin, we wish you good luck, and we'll see you hopefully in Victory Lane here in a few weeks.
All right, thank you.
All right, Colin Vanasse, take a quick break, come back with our next guest. All right, welcome back to the podcast after a quick break, previewing the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Outlaw season as part of our first guest of the podcast. We're here with Richie Helger Jr. We're here at the final Fast Friday practice, and he's got his Helger South Coast Power Equipment shirt on, and you must be excited to move up to the next division, right? A little bit of a challenge going into the year?
Yeah, it's definitely faster, and I just can't wait to get back out on the track and start racing again.
So you ran down at the Waterford Speed Bowl, I guess it'd be 2 Wednesdays ago when you're listening to the podcast. Ran well there. But how much do you want to run for the championship this year? That was something that kind of just slipped out of your fingers there the last couple weeks. That's got to be a goal for you, right?
Yeah, just to get, hopefully, top 3 in championship would be good, but first is always good too.
Now, championship is definitely on his mind. He's got a group of guys working here to try to get him out on the track this afternoon. You got Mikey Laforte's son, also part of your team this year. Has it been fun to run in the Bandoleros? I'm sure it has, but what do you want to do down the line? Do you see yourself jumping out of this division, hopefully?
Yeah. I like it. I like racing with my friends and, getting along with everybody. So, I like staying in this one, but, hopefully move on as we go.
So years are going to come down the line. How difficult are they to drive? The track's very bumpy. So is that something that concerns you at all with the bumps out there to try to hang on?
No, not really. So, sometimes it does, but not all the time. It's the car will stick no matter what. So, once all the nerve goes away, once I'm on the track, and I just have fun out once I'm out.
Now he's going to be able to pick up the win this coming Friday night, the 28th here, again previewing the Bandolero Outlaw season. And I'm sure there's some people maybe you want to give a thanks to. There's a couple working on the car right now that are probably good.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my dad, first of all, for doing all this for me, and my mom, my brother, Scott Harkin, Kyle Marchand, Scott Harkin Racing, Simpsons Auto Care, Viper Graphic for doing the car, and we got Cat Country, and, just all thanks to those guys for, getting this out on the track.
Well, we wish you good luck this season, and I'm sure we will catch up with you on the phone probably maybe after a win.
Yep, and hope it'll be soon.
All right, Richie Helger Jr., as we preview the Fast Friday season, we'll take a quick break, and we will come back with another guest here after a little bit more discussion. All right, welcome back to the Seekonk Speedway Fast Friday preview show. Again, my name is Souza. Thanks for joining us as we preview the 2021 Fast Friday season. Nice to catch up with Colin Vanasse and Richie Helger Jr. Let's move on to preview the Sport 4 division. Now, this division, a great mix of our rookies, up-and-coming rising star drivers, and our veterans that have been around a long time and are comfortable running in this style of division. A little bit cheaper than a Saturday night, but still expensive in a way, and these guys have just as much fun on Fast Friday. The Sport 4 division is honestly one of our most competitive at the Seekonk Speedway. I put it right up there with the late model division as the 2 most competitive classes that we offer right now at the Third Mile. This one going to be one to watch again this year, and you got to wonder if it's going to come down to Mikey Laforte once again. Now, Laforte picked up the championship in the Diamond Jubilee, the shortened COVID season last year. He's also a former champion in a full season. He, to me, is going to be the favorite to continue to hoist this championship in the Sport 4 division. He's one to watch right off the get-go. We'll see if he's got a fast car, which I'm sure he will, right from the drop of the first green flag. Outside of him, there's a couple guys and girls you might want to watch. Dave Westgate is a multiple-time champion of the Sport 4 division. Last year he had a new ride that he pulled out onto the track, was successful with it, and his experience and his competitive nature, I think, are going to keep him inside the top 5 each and every week. He should be a contender for the championship in 2021. 3 other names to watch for the title if they elect to run the full season, because some of them didn't last year. In fact, I don't think all of them did. Crystal Murray, Colin Vanasse, and Tyler Duhanchik. Now, Murray, you may know the Murray name. Crystal is the daughter of Rob Murray, a former pro stock and late model competitor. She is also the sister of sport truck champion in 2019, Richie Murray. So she knows her way around the track, has been around the track her whole life, and is no stranger to watching her family compete at the front. Now, she does have a couple career feature wins in the Sport 4 division. They've been very emotional wins. Probably one of the most excited drivers when she picks up a win that we see at any time at the Speedway. And she is going to be a threat for the championship, in my opinion, if she runs the whole year. Now, I say that because she is in college, and last year she took off there towards the end of the year to go take care of her school. So she's going to start the season. We'll see how things go, and I have a feeling that if she's in the championship battle come the middle of the summer, it would be hard-pressed for me to think she's not going to try to drive back and forth from school every Friday afternoon to try to win the championship. So we'll monitor that over the course of the year. If she's in that title fight, I expect her to be a contender, and I also expect her to be in that title fight with the experience she's got and the speed under the hood of that number 38. Now, Colin Vanasse, a name that's been a little bit quiet over the last couple of years, but also a consistent driver that's definitely got speed. That's another one I'm watching for the championship. Vanasse, we'll see what happens with the red 44. He's shown speed during the preseason practice, but he's going to have to pick it up just a little bit to run consistently in the front. Tyler Duhanchik drives the Phil's Propane entry, the number 48. He struggled when he first got in the division, but he's got a different car. And, man, he's been quick, getting his feet wet and coming close to his first career win. He's got the speed. I think he's probably going to grab his first win this year. And who knows, he might be a contender for the championship. Other names in the Sport 4, Jaden Hamilton's going into his second year of driving. Dave Simpson Jr. is the son of Pro Stock regular now Dave Simpson. He's going to be back. Tim Bolger Jr. picked up the win last year to round out the season. He will be back. Henry LaValle is a veteran of this division, and he's going to be back looking to contend for wins in the championship. This division's got quite the mix of drivers from top to bottom. Again, the rookies, the rising stars, the veterans, the middle-aged. This division's got just about everything in it, and it should be fun to watch. Austin Flanagan makes his Sport 4 debut and his racing debut this year in the Sport 4 division. He is the son of sportsman competitor Ed Flanagan. Taylor Bowser is set to make her return to competition, a former Seekonk Youth Racing Association graduate in the Sport 4s. Also expecting AJ Manuel, who won 4 races last year, not running full-time this year, but he's going to be a threat when he shows up. Believe he's going to try to run for the Phil's Championship, and also will be there every other week or every couple of weeks. He's going to be a threat to win as a former champion. You can add Jordan Lopes, a former winner, Christine Cavallero, Matthew Peon coming back this year for some events, and a whole slate of others to the Sport 4 division, and it is going to be one heck of a battle in 2021. Now, the Sport 4 division does not have a division sponsor. If you are interested, please contact the track office, and we can let you know how that process works. So there you have the preview of the Sport 4 division. We are not going to talk to any Sport 4 driver on this episode, but I am positive that we will over the course of the season. Let's move on to the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Pure Stock class, and the headliner for me of this division is the battle that is going to ensue between Greg Perry and Danny Massa. Now, these two guys battled for the Diamond Jubilee Series Championship last year in the shortened season. They battled that season with Doug Benoit, and Doug Benoit came out on top in the championship the last couple of years. However, he is not going to be in competition in 2021 in the Pure Stock division. Benoit has moved on to the Sportsman and in more of an open style street stock racing, sold his car, so he's out of it, and that to me leaves Danny Massa versus Greg Perry. Now, Massa came up just 6 points short of it last year, a little bit of a bittersweet moment for him. He's a former winner, and he's come close to the championship. He is going to be a threat behind the wheel of that number 41. We will have to monitor him over the course of the year to see how many times he can get to victory lane and how many victories it's going to take to be a contender for the championship. Much like the other Fast Friday divisions, this division also includes a mix of former champions, race winners, rising stars, rookie of the years, and then you got Greg Perry. He's going to be, to me, the biggest threat to Danny Massa, as those two should battle over the course of the season to try to win the championship. Perry in that familiar number 0 has been fast. We're going to monitor how quick he's going to be over the course of the season behind the wheel. Another contender we're going to have to watch in this division is Joey Morissette. Now, some of you know that Joey's come very close to getting to Everett's Auto Parts Victory Lane before. This is going to be the year. I'm pretty confident saying that he is going to be the one to get to Everett's Auto Parts Victory Lane for the first time behind the wheel of that familiar number 77. So we'll be monitoring him over the course of the year to see if not we can get his first win. But will he be able to contend for the championship this year between Danny Massa and Greg Perry? Is it Joey Morissette that becomes that third force at the top of the championship battle? We'll keep an eye on that. Timmy Ouellette also coming back in this division. He drives the number 67 machine. Now, Timmy is a former graduate of the Seekonk Youth Racing Association as well. So that's becoming a common trend here on the podcast. We talk about a lot of these rising stars. They are graduates of the Bandolero and or the Nick's Pit Stop Legends and or the Mini Cup days that came from years ago. We did have Mini Cups back, I would say 5 or 6 years ago since we've had those on the track. Maybe a little bit less than that. It might be more like 4 years. But Ouellette, a graduate of the Mini Cup division, he's going to need a little bit more consistency in the pure stock, but he's got speed and he could be a threat. Other drivers to watch in the pure stock division this year: Mike Hendricks, Max Bergstrom, Ava Schwinnard, Emily Brightman, Justin Menard, Tommy Blackwell, Arthur Miak, Jim Riley, Alice Benoit, Nick Magoni. We've got Ethan Souza, a newcomer to the pure stock division this year, behind the wheel of the number 30. He's going to be one to watch. Curtis Rolando, another graduate of the Seekonk Youth Racing Association, is going to be back this year. He's registered in a pure stock. We'll see how many races he runs, but he used to run in the Mini Cups and picked up feature wins there. So we'll look forward to hearing that. If you just heard my printer going off in the background, there is some stuff printing. That looks like my computer decided it wanted to print right in the middle of the podcast, but that's okay. We're back to the podcast now. Ethan Souza, Curtis Rolando, 2 we're going to watch. More than 10 drivers I've already mentioned. There's more than 25, though, signed up for the pure stock division in 2021. This is one of our most exciting divisions, one of our most competitive divisions, and something we are going to have to watch here over the course of 2021 to see who is going to be the favorites in this class. So the pure stocks, there you have that. We're going to take a break after I mentioned that Helger South Coast Power Equipment is the sponsor of the pure stock division. Again, in 2021, they have a mission to offer you the latest and greatest in parts and products, specifically power products, at the best prices with unparalleled service. Give them a call at 774-264-9550, or you can visit them online at southcoastpowerequipment.com. Quick break. When we come back, we're going to catch up with 2 pure stock drivers. I mentioned them, Greg Perry and Danny Massa will both join us around the turn. All right, we're back here at the Fast Friday practice. I think I've said that 10 times already today. Previewing the Fast Friday season. We've caught up now with Greg Perry, a former champion of the Helger's Pure Stock division. And what are you looking forward to going into the year? We got a full year this year, different than last year, right? We had a few races, so it's going to feel good to get back to full capacity and be ready to go again.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to the new tire package they gave us. I went out for a couple practices, and car feels pretty good, and just going to give it a little shakedown at practice today and see if we can make any changes, and that's pretty much about it. And I just hope for a good season, and hopefully everybody else likes the new tires, and one foot in front of the other, and let's see if we can get a championship this year.
Yeah, so he's going to go for another championship. What's it feel like with the tires? Are they faster? Because it looks like the lap times have picked up at least a little bit.
Yes, the times have definitely picked up a little bit. It feels like you're going a lot slower, but the car is more stable. And I think everybody's gonna have a good run on these tires. Definitely makes the car more stable. So even the beginners, I think they're gonna have a fun season on these tires.
Well, I think it's been good over the last couple of years. You guys are pretty good friends back here too, right? All the division, basically, you guys run pretty clean, I think, and that's probably because you're friends, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. And we got like 5 or 6 cars out of our stable anyway. Yeah. And we're all friends. You know, hey, we all race each other, and pretty much for the most part, anybody needs help, they can always ask me or any of the TFB crew, and we'll be there to help anybody. Yeah, it's been great to watch this division. Anybody you want to thank? Maybe some sponsors, some crew. Anybody helps you out? Yes, I'd like to thank. Actually, I picked up a couple new sponsors this year. I got Hot Event and AC out of Hyde Park, Mass. I picked up Compact and Baylor out of Attleboro. I have Zumalt Tree out of Attleboro. and I also have one-way scrap in Taunton, Mass. And my shop that usually helps out, G&G Auto.
All right, Greg Perry, and good luck. I'm sure we'll talk to you here maybe after a win soon.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back again. All right, I'm still in the pits here as we preview the Fast Friday season. I'm catching up with Danny Massa now, who came close to the championship last year. Shortened season. You got to feel good to get back and have a lot of races, though, this year, full season, and it feels like kind of normal here for some odd reason all of a sudden.
Finally, we're hoping to do it one more better instead of second the last 2 years. Go and get the win and hopefully make the sponsors proud and put on a good show with these new race tires that they're giving us this year. But it's finally feels good to be back to normal. You don't have to worry about the COVID thing or if we're going to race Saturdays or Fridays, Good to be back.
Yeah, it feels like somewhat normal. What are your opinion on the new tires? I mean, it's a new package for everybody, but Greg was just telling us cars felt slower, but they're going faster and they feel a little bit more stable. You feeling the same way, or?
Well, it's going to make the competition closer, the people that are in the back. It's going to kind of even them up to us, and then over time we're going to figure out how to make them faster, but it's going to be better. Everyone's going to be on the same tire, so no one's going to be, he's on this tire, so that's why he beat me. And it did slow us down a little bit, but we'll figure it out, just like everything else we figure out to make it faster,
Yeah, so he's going to try to make his car faster here tonight. Of course, getting ready for Friday, May 28th, the opening night. What about some sponsors? Anybody you want to thank here as part of the podcast?
Oh, of course, Richie Helger from Helger South Coast Power Equipment. Without him, we wouldn't be racing. He sponsors the division and the whole Fast Fridays for us. Mark Murphy Auto Body's back on board. Nature Shield, that's a new sponsor that we have. And K&C Truck Parts. So we got a few new sponsors. Hopefully it's going to bring us some luck to get that championship finally.
Yeah, Danny's going to be one of the threats here, and we wish you good luck, and I'm sure we'll talk to you in Victory Lane. Maybe week 1, week 2. Got to be excited to try to get it.
As many weeks as we can get in there.
All right, Danny, thanks, and we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to the Seekonk Speedway Fast Friday Preview Series podcast, heading on to our final division now. As part of the preview, we've gone through the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandoleros, the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Pure Stocks, and the Sport 4s. Now we are on to the Nick's Pit Stop Legend Cars, our premier Fast Friday division. Great crowd of drivers expected once again in 2021 in the Nick's Pit Stop Legends. I am expecting a full field over the course of the 2021 season, just about every week. And the man we're going to talk about first is Josh Parsons, the Carver, Massachusetts native. Wow, he's come close to the championship a couple times now and has proved to me that he is a threat to win the championship again over the course of the 2021 season. To me, there is no doubt that Josh Parsons is one of the top favorites to be the champion this year. He drives the number 09 for Nick Wiscola Racing. We're going to watch him over the course of the year and see what he's able to come up with speed under the hood of that machine. But I expect him to be up front. I expect him to win races, and I expect him to contend for the overall championship in the Nick's Pit Stop Legends. Outside of him, the list of drivers is really endless on who could be next in this quest for the championship. I've got a few written down here that I'll go through, but know that there's many, many, many drivers that could be contenders. We just have to see as the season gets along. Brandon Hammond, Jacob Rowdy Burns, Giovanni Ruggiero, Mason Tessier, Paul Newcomb, Brendan Labelle, Luke LeBrun, TJ Morshed, and more. Those are some of the drivers I'll be watching this year. Hammond missed most of last year due to COVID, but he is a top 5 car when he shows up. Rowdy Jacob Burns picked up his first career win last year, and he's come a long way behind the wheel, also now competing in the late models. He's going to be a threat. Giovanni Ruggiero, not sure if he's going to run the full season or not. He's been touring down south. However, he's a graduate as well of the Seekonk Youth Racing Association. He's going to be a threat when he shows up. Mason Tessier drives a brand new car out of the Scott Harkin Racing Stable. He's going to be a threat. Also out of that Scott Harkin Racing Stable, Paul Newcomb and his sons, Joel and Isaiah. So we'll be watching them as well. And the Nick Wiscola Racing Stable, we've already mentioned Josh Parsons. The other driver is Luke LeBrun now in that stable as well. Man, that's a good combination. Nick Wiscola and Luke LeBrun. We saw that combination work last year as part of the Big Fast Friday Nick Wiscola Racing Bash that went on late in the summer, the big extra distance race. and LeBrun dominated that in the NLR machine. So I'll be watching to see how he does over the course of the year in that Lascola Racing entry. That should be an interesting one to watch. I think LeBrun's the speed they've had under the hood of their cars. Whether it's their own family car or competing with Lascola, they've been fast, and if he runs the whole season, which I believe is the plan, Wook LeBrun jumps right up there with Josh Parsons to me as a favorite to be the champion in the next Pit Stop Legends. So we'll monitor that over the course of the year as well. LeBrun, another one to keep an eye on is Brandon Labelle. Brandon Labelle, who we're going to talk to here coming up around the next break. Labelle is moving up as well from the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero division, so another graduate from our Fast Friday Youth Racing Association division. Labelle is going to be a major threat, I think, in the Legend Cars division. He's really, based on what I've seen, he's really caught on pretty dang quickly to these cars, and they're not easy to drive, and he's gone out there and run competitive lap times pretty quickly for a young talent there in Brandon Labelle. So I'll be watching him to see if he's able to pick up a feature win this year. Is he a contender for the championship? All going to be something we will watch behind the wheel of that number 4. Again, we'll talk to him in a few moments. TJ Morshed is a former late model competitor. You know that name a little bit from the past. He's going to also be competing inside the Nick Lascola Racing stable, so we'll watch for him in the 00. Reese Bogue, a former Bandolero champion, another driver making the move to the Legends. He's going to run at least a partial schedule. Devin Deshays, another former Bandolero champion, is coming back in the number 64. We'll monitor if he's able to pick up his first career win. And now the long-awaited return of Pepe. Yes, Pepe. Our good friend that used to run in the street stock division is coming back on the Fast Friday now in the pure stocks. Excuse me, not the pure stocks, the Legend cars. Pepe in a Legend car. His real name is Jim Sylvia. Everybody else knows him as Pepe. So we'll monitor what he does in the 116 over the course of the year. His son Jake Sylvia is also going to run in the number 78. We'll watch Ben Amato, Ty LeClaire, Jeff Wood, Tom Murray, Mike Floyd, and others. Jake Johnson, haven't talked about him yet. He's the champion of the COVID-shortened year last year as a former late model and pro stock winner. Will Jake Johnson be the one to return this year? If he comes back and runs a full season, he's going to be the threat, in my opinion. If Jake runs the whole year, he's the favorite, no doubt, to win the championship. If he only runs select events, he's going to win when he shows up on certain occasions. So watch for him in that black and white number 15. Also, a couple drivers we haven't talked about yet that are expected to compete at least at some capacity. Mason Tessier, I mentioned earlier, but not enough. He is going to be the Scott Harkin Racing lead driver this year. Watch for him. Reagan Parent, we're expecting Reagan to compete behind the wheel for Nick Lascola Racing. I don't know if it's going to be full-time or part-time, but they had announced that over the offseason. I had seen that, so we'll see if he's able to run the whole season. And Derek Luchaki as well, late model Rookie of the Year in the American Canadian Tour, a former winner at Seekonk on the Legend Cars. He's going to be competing, I believe, in at least select events as well. So there you have the Legend Cars. There are more drivers also expected, again, expecting a full field in this class in 2021. Division sponsor, Nick Pit Stop, is the one-stop shop for auto repair and service. They are located in Abington, Mass. They have been on board with this division since the inception. Can't thank Keith Lascola, Nick Lascola, and their team enough for their support. You can give them a call at 781-878-5819 for more information. All right, when we come back from the break, we're going to catch up with our final guest of the preview series, Brendan Labelle, driver of the number 4 from the Nick's Pit Stop Legends, moving up from the Bandoleros. We'll hear what he has to say about what's coming up here in 2021. All right, welcome back from the break. Catching up with our next guest on the Fast Friday podcast preview of the 2021 season. Brendan Labelle is here with me. We're here again at the Fast Friday practice, the last one. A little bit of tune-up. Now, Brendan, you've had a chance to take this car out at least a couple times, right? Last year, I think you took it out once. What's it been like to jump from the Bandoleros here to the Legend Cars?
It's definitely been a handful, and it's just a little bit more hard. You just need to learn a little more throttle control with the Bando. With the Legend, you got to learn a little bit more throttle control. A little bit more handwork with it, but I think we can get down pat and should be there.
Now, you were in the Bandoleros. You had a lot of success there. You've jumped up to the Legend Cars here. Are you expecting just as much success right away? Is that kind of the goal?
We're kind of hoping. We're just going to try work by little, see what we can do, and go from there.
Now, you got 2 sponsors on the car. You were just telling me you had 2 sponsors. So you want to give them a thanks, too, while we're here?
Yeah, most likely thing, Andrew Shucking's been there for the whole way down the road, and J.M. Kreitz is a new one we just picked up a couple weeks ago.
So the first couple weeks is going to kind of be, I think, filling out a race for you, right? Because have you been in a race with them at all?
Nope.
No, so this is going to be a little bit of a different experience. What do you think is going to go on in the race? Are you concerned at all about how that's going to go? It's going to be a little bit different, right, than just practice.
Yeah, the first night's definitely going to be a lot more handful, especially when nobody's been racing for like half of the year or something like that. So it's definitely going to be kind of nerve-wracking out there, but we can get a hand of it and get out through all the wrecks, and we should be good.
Now, are you hoping to win this year? That's got to be the goal, right? At least to get your first win?
That would be nice. And just looking for solid top 10s maybe every week, and if we can pick up win, it would be awesome.
All right, Brendan Labelle, thank you, and we wish you good luck this year.
Thank you.
All right, Brendan Labelle here. We'll take a quick break and come back with a new guest here on the season preview podcast for Fast Friday. All right, welcome back for the final guest of the Fast Friday Preview Series podcast. It's been great to catch up with Colin Vanasse in the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Bandits, Richie Helger Jr. in the Bandolero Outlaws. We spoke with Greg Perry and Danny Massa, both of those drivers coming from the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Pure Stocks. And most recently, as you heard, Brendan Labelle, driver of the number 4 in the Nick's Pit Stop Legend Cars. That'll do it for the Fast Friday Preview Series podcast for the 2021 season. And that means only one thing. That means it's time to go racing on Fast Friday. The opener scheduled for Friday night, May 28th, 2021. Tickets are $10 for adults in the grandstand area. Should be a great season on Fast Friday. Kids 12 and under on Fast Friday only are free if they are purchased at the gate on race day. Catch us at the track for the Fast Friday series in 2021. Also pay attention to our social media channels to see who is the who's who on the Fast Friday as the season gets underway. I'll be writing all kind of recap stories of the season so far. Adam Bellew will be also joining us this year to write up some recap stories. So we'll be monitoring what he thinks about how the racing went over the course of the year. And we will have, of course, the weekly Race Day Rewind podcast series, which if you're not familiar with, check it out either right here on Apple Podcasts if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, or if you're listening on YouTube and watching along with a little bit of the videos, you can also check there for our Race Day Rewinds that have come so far from the 2021 season. Similar to this, we'll talk about what's going on the last Friday and Saturday night and hear from a couple of the drivers that either ran well or were the stories from the Fast Friday series. So keep monitor on the recap podcast as well here as the season gets underway. With that, thanks for joining us on the Fast Friday preview presented by Souza Media. Again, my name is Kyle Souza. Looking forward to seeing everybody as part of our Fast Friday series and looking forward to seeing normalcy in 2021 as it feels like we're getting back to normal and getting back to